ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः माया कल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यविमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Page 46, mantra number 7. नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहारम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. So, the Chaturtha Pada, Bhāṣyakara says on page number 44, the first line, Chaturtha Padaha Vaktavya. So now the fourth Pada, the fourth quarter of Atma should be discussed. Krama Prapta. It has come in the order. Because three Padas have been discussed before. That's how now we are talking about fourth. And that third Pada we discussed the Karana Pada, etc. Prājña or Ishvara is the third Pada of the Atma, Brahman. That is the cause of the creation. And when that comes, then, Gaudapada Acharya talks about that regarding this creation, two questions should not be asked. And what are those two questions? What is the cause of the creation? Should not be asked. Don't bother about it. And second is, what is the purpose of the creation? These two questions should, the Vedanti's mind generally is, really speaking, is bothered with these two questions. And these questions should be dropped. So the sixth Karika, etc. talks about some cause of the creation. Ichha matram prabho srushtihi. Prabhoho ichha matram. Just because Ishvara is Satya Sankalpa, so just his will alone, which cannot be proven false, as he desires, as he wills, whole creation comes. Cause is ichha. Then prasutim, then vibhutim, etc. has been talked about. Vibhuti. So vistara. Ishvara has just, expanded in the form of this creation. kāla prasutim. Well, this is because creation has come from the kāla, the nature. The nature is like this. It just keeps coming. Cycle after cycle, it just keeps coming like that. Nature has inbuilt intelligence and it just keeps coming like that. Another cause. No. Nothing of that sort. We discussed that. Then prayojan, purpose of the creation. Bhogartham sushtihi. Ishvara, created all this for the enjoyment of the jivas, etc. So, in that all people come in this, starting from Charvakas. Most of the people in the world believe this. The creation is meant for enjoyment, ultimately. And that is even the progress in the creation also is meant for that. Anything which is created gives a joy for the jiva, but then ultimately that particular product is modified further to give you joy. Further joy, more joy. Even the countries, the governments, all talk about the scientists, technocrats, creating new things. Why? Bhogartham. Bas, just enjoy. Everybody practically is doing this. And their statistics, the statistics released by the governments also indicate this. Oh, we have made new roads. How many roads? 1,000 kilometers we made in this month of October. More 1,000 kilometers we have added into the infrastructure. Then other things. We have produced the grains this much. We have produced the vegetables this much. Think of it. It's all for bhogartham. Nobody bothered about. You won't find a statistics of how many people have become emotionally mature in the year of 2025. Never. How many people earlier, 70-80% of the people were bursting out of anger. Now that statistics has reduced. Now we find 50% of the people are getting angry. Never. How much more produced? How many new things have come, even including AI. Bhogartham, please understand this. Bhogartham sushtihi iti anye. Why anye? Sarve manyante. And and there are some people who are not so gross. They are very subtle. And they say, let's not talk about this creation for bhoga. Let us take all the bhogas from here and transport to heaven. Here you put lot of efforts, have some punya karma, but ultimately meant for what? Go there, again bhoga. So this is how the things are. So they transport bhogas from here, they take to other world. But ultimately it's part of creation. Bhoga. And there are people in southern India, and they are Shaivas basically. They say, there are people who believe also like that, other people also, but these Shaivas basically, they say that when the creation will be there will be definitely an experience by this jiva, the creation. In that experience, there will be sukha dukkha generated, bhoga only is generated. But, when person experiences dukkha, and that is it is the fact that during day, when you are really happy, that is, there are few moments. But most of the time, people are having one or other issues, either physically, either mentally, either in the surrounding, or if nothing else, then the nature creates problem. Lot of cold wind, rain, this, that. So, the creation is meant for ultimately experiencing dukkha. By that, you are exhausting your papa. And when you are exhausting your papa, definitely you will go near to Ishvara. Means your devotion for Ishvara increases by his grace. Papa was an obstacle in your bhakti towards the Ishvara. So when the papa reduces, obstacle reduces, automatically a devotion arises for the Ishvara. And because of that, well, you will be close to Ishvara. You will gain mukti. So creation is ultimately meant to exhaust your papa karma. There are people who believe like this. And so this is, ultimately for the exhaustion of karma, the srishti is there. Bible says, Christianity says, creation means God created a man in his image. And he created a world for the consumption of this man. Man, understand, male. God created man is male, not a human being. God created man is male in his image. Because he is male. He is male. Yeah. So God is male. And therefore he created exactly in his image a man also. And entire creation, including women, are for bhoga. Or you can eat anything in this world. Anything. You can eat donkeys, you can eat cows, you can eat all this, our turkeys and this and that. All is meant. God has created for your enjoyment. So you should enjoy all of them, eating them. Bible says. Christianity. Islam. They also. Islam also says, Quran. Don't drink alcohol. Follow all the God's laws. And live a very rightful life. Then what? You will go to heaven. What is they call heaven as a bahista. And in bahista, well, there is a river. Of what? Of wine. And you can drink. Because you have followed a rightful life here, you have not drunk alcohol, etc. Here, you will definitely go to the kingdom of the God, heaven, and there is a river. You can take bath in wine, you can drink wine. And heaven basically is a place of all sensory pleasures. And there are gardens, big gardens, with the fruit trees and fruits. And then there is plenty of meat you can consume. Even you can book a fruit tree in heaven. Here itself, there is a group in Bombay which books a fruit tree here, because you are rightfully following everything. You will definitely go to heaven. So in heaven you should not have a sense of deprivation. You can deprive here, but there it will be fulfilled. Bhogartham. All religion also talks about this. Srushti bhogartham. Apare. Kridartham. Manyante. Gaudapadacharya says, apare. There are some others who are basic. Unfortunately, they are our brothers. They are called Vedantins. We call them Vedanta Ekadeshi. Even though they are Vedantins, pseudo-Vedantins, we can say. They also, their pramana is a Upanishad. Therefore, they are Vedantin. But then, the purport of the Upanishad which they have brought out, their philosophers have brought out, their acharyas have brought out, is different from Advaita. Therefore, Dvaita Vedantin, Madhvacharya. Vishishta-dvaita Vedantin, Ramanuja. And so all Ramanuja, Vallabha, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, all these Vaishnavacharyas, they are all Vedanta Ekadeshis, pseudo-Vedantins. They say creation is Bhagavan has created this for sporting, Kridartha. And they get a Bhranti also, because one of the sutra in a Brahma Sutra is Vyasacharya has made is Lokavattu Leelā Kaivalyam. So therefore, Leela or Krida is one and the same meaning. So therefore, they believe this creation is ultimately meant. His creation is nothing but a sport, Leela, of Ishvara. But we say that when person plays a sport, definitely, even before playing the sports, whatever the state in he is in whatever the state that he is not comfortable with. Therefore, he comes out and sports, plays, and therefore he must be very unhappy. In order to get rid of that uneasiness of himself, he is doing this job. Why otherwise? If he is the Purna Kama, why he has to do all this job? And moreover, certain times sports are not good. Why is not good? Like a child plays, right? Just playing. In a play itself, the child kills the ants. The ants are going in a line, and child is playing in that home, and he finds this a series of ants are going. It just kills. And then, parents say, you don't do this. Even though child is just playing, but in that playing, it is a cruel play. Same way, if Ishvara is playing this sport, fine, no problem. But in his play, we the ants are suffering. We the ants are suffering. Means he is a cruel guy. Because every day you and me face all three types of tapas. Three types of pains, either physical, mental, either from the surrounding, either from the nature. This all is a sport of Ishvara. Then that is, let that be the sport for him. But what about us as a part of creation? And therefore, we don't accept this. Because his sport is a very cruel, like that cruelty of the child. Sometimes child takes certain very, pointed thing and kills something also, just in a play. Child is innocent, he just plays. But that's not correct. No. So this is not, we cannot accept. The Parmeshwara actually, Parmeshwara created Parmeshwara created very beautifully, but we spoil the creation by our rāga-dveṣas. Then the question is, who gave the rāga-dveṣas to you? Ishvara cannot give rāga-dveṣa, you said. Then from where they have come, rāga-dveṣa? No, you have just, they have generated from you after creation. But you are born with the rāga-dveṣas. What about that? From the birth itself, you like few things and you do dislike certain things, and you go accordingly. Not that you are born with a blank slate, you are born with certain likes and dislikes. Then who gave you? No, Ishvara cannot give. He is a creator, but still he has not given. You are the creation, but he has not given. Then from where they have come? Anyway, so basically this is also not able to, we don't get the answer for this. Anyway, so for Krida also we don't accept. And so therefore Bhāṣyakara says, bhogartham kridartham iti cha anye srushti manyante anayoho pakshayoho dushanam. Basically, I am referring to the bhāṣyam in the previous karika, the ninth karika only. And then what is the answer? Devasya esha svabhāva. Ayam. Well, this is our answer. This Paramatma, this is a Paramatma's nature. Like the rope which is not known, such a rope which is not known, the unknown rope appears as a snake. That is the svabhāva of the unknown rope. That's it. And therefore, rope doesn't create the snake, rope doesn't become the snake. The rope which is not known just appears as a snake. That's it. Nothing else. Why snake? Svabhāva of the rope. Which rope? Unknown rope. So, in this semi-darkness, etc., the snake which is not known to you, such a snake appears as a, and the rope which is not known appears as a snake, appears as a streak of water, appears as a garland, appears as a streak of a urine of some animal, anything it can appear. And so this is its svabhāva. Svabhāva of what? Rope. That it appears like that. Devasya esha svabhāva. So Brahman also, Devasya means Brahmanaha. Well, so Brahman, so this is a just, svabhāva of this Brahman, that when it is not known, it appears in the form of this jagat of infinite forms. So why creation? Svabhāva. Of whom? Devasya, Brahman. Which Brahman? Which is not known as Brahman. The Brahman which is not known as the Brahman, well, will appear for you as this infinite jagat srishti. That's it. There is no cause for the srishti. There is neither Brahman has become the srishti, neither Brahman has created the srishti. Brahman remaining nirvikara, but that nirvikara Brahma along with this Māyā, the ajnanam, appears as this creation. That's it. That is its svabhāva. It's just a mithya, Māyā, it's a svabhāva. So, that is how Brahman is not either a cause also. Brahman is not a cause for the creation. The ignorance of the Brahman alone is the cause for this creation. Māyā alone is the cause. Anyway, so swasya bhavaha svabhāvaha. And this svabhāva alone, in a shastra, it's called prakṛti, etc. And we always say the prakṛti or a svabhāva of a given thing will not change. And so it remains like this. Creation will always will appear, because this Māyā, which is anadi, well, is there, and therefore there will be always a appearance of the creation. This rope which is not known by, let's take another example. I will give you two examples. First is in a forest, when a person is going through that trail, there is a and it's a semi-darkness. Whoever is passing through that trail, in that semi-darkness, and a rope is lying there, well, everyone takes it, suppose, as a snake. Snake continues to appear for all those people who do not know the rope as a rope. That's it. That is svabhāva. It won't change. It won't change. In one forest in southern India, that's a forest where all this anaya, all our elephants, wild elephants are there. And when you enter into that, it's a sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary actually. And you appear there, and if you go little inside, little deep into forest, they have put one elephant exactly like of a, in terms of color and the height and everything. But this is a wooden elephant. And they have put in a very natural posture, as if the elephant is coming towards you. And everybody, practically everybody was coming on that path, were literally were running away. Why? Oh, elephant. What the elephant want? So it just, the very big tusker is just in front of them. And but practically the elephant, which is a wooden elephant, which is known as, it's a wood. So the elephant which is wood but not known to you as a wood will be taken as a elephant. So we can say the wood appears as an elephant is its svabhāva. Would you follow? Because the wood which is not known as a wood appears as an elephant for all the people. Suppose everyone, unless person knows and then tells to otherwise everyone was taking. That's how they have kept it. It's a some kind of an amusement. Everyone is running away. If elephant has come, elephant has come. So my point is, this is how it is. So here also in this creation, everybody comes with the ignorance of Brahman, and everybody takes this, Brahman, not unknown Brahman, as the creation. And then they ask this question: what is the cause of creation? Why Bhagavan created this world? Or what is the purpose of creation and all that? Well, there is no answer. We don't give answer. We say devasya svabhāva. The Brahman which is not known to you will continue to appear as creation. One who knows Brahman as the very self, for him creation ceases to be real. He would not ask this question: what is the purpose of creation? If creation itself is not there, all that is there is Brahman, where is the question of purpose of creation? Where is the question of cause of creation? Could you follow? And therefore, devasya svabhāva. This is how it appears. Because of and Māyā is anadi, or Ajnanam is anadi, and Ajnanam has never begun. So, but then for Jnani also, Swamiji, then Māyā continues or not? Creation continues or not? Creation continues. The reality of the creation goes away. Reality of creation goes away. When the reality of the creation goes away, creation is as though destroyed for that person. As though destroyed. So, svabhāva. This is how it will be. This is how it will be. Māyā is anadi. This mithya Māyā, with this mithya Māyā, Brahman continues to appear, cycle after cycle, after cycle after cycle after cycle, as creation. There is no reality in creation. Only few in a given cycle will come to know there is no creation. All that is there is Brahman. Everyone has to know that it is wood, but not an elephant. Everyone has to know. Yeah. That's how it is. One has to get rid of the ignorance of this wood, right? Get rid of. It's wood. Nothing else but wood. You have to get rid of. If you don't get rid of, samsara, the fear of the elephant continues. And you will take it as elephant also. And then you will ask, how come there is elephant here? And what are their parents? And etc. What is the purpose of the elephant being here? What it serves a purpose? All questions are useless questions. All you have to inquire into that, whether there is elephant or not. So this is what it is. So aptakamasya ka spruha. So definitely for aptakama, there is a question of desire. You said from desire he created and all this, and so there is no thing. That's how Lord Buddha did not like the idea of Ishvara. Well, he was not believing. He, of course, was raised as a Siddhartha in a Hindu family, but he later gave it up because certain questions pertaining to Ishvara, well, as a cause of the creation, etc., he didn't like. So, being in Hindu, well, it will be always said Ishvara created the world. Then he asked these questions, and then he refuted Ishvara. What are the questions? Well, you said, means we people, Buddha is asking us, Ishvara is very compassionate. Wow, compassionate and Sarvaguna Kalyana Sampanna. He is basically a treasure of all virtues, including compassion and all. And he is omniscient, omnipotent, etc., etc. So he says, and if he is really a treasure of all the virtues, definitely, and being the cause of the creation, he would like that all the jivas should be happy, naturally, because he is very compassionate for the jivas. He is a creator of all the jivas and in the whole world, and therefore he should be very compassionate. As you said, he is very compassionate, then he wants to see that all the jivas will be happy. And that is the characteristic of a compassionate person. But you are seeing here most of the people are unhappy. So therefore we cannot accept Ishvara as a treasure of all the good virtues, including compassion. We cannot accept it. And well, he wants, that's not true. Oh Lord Buddha, oh Buddha, it's not true. He wants to see every jiva to be happy. He is very compassionate. He wants every jiva to be happy. But then why they are not happy? Well, because he is helpless. He wants the jivas to be happy, but he is very helpless. If he is helpless, he is not called omnipotent, Sarvashakti. If he is a Sarvashakti and he is a compassionate also, well, he has a desire that all jivas should be happy, and they will be happy because he is omnipotent. He is powerful. He can make everyone happy. So, if he is a desirous of to make everyone happy, then and yet people are not happy, then either he doesn't have this virtue of a compassion, etc. And if he has, well, he doesn't have a power to make them happy. Either way. What do you say? Buddha asks us. So, anyway, so, no, because of the karmas of the jiva ultimately, So he goes by the law and he says, "Main kya karu?" Because the jivas have done a wrong karmas, etc. And well, jivas have done wrong karmas. He doesn't have even that much compassion that to even pardon them all. President pardons himself. President pardons so many people, even they do wrong. So this also should be pardoned very well. Like you, suppose you are a owner of a factory. In your factory, even in your office, there are people who all are not equally efficient. There are workers in the manufacturing section, all are not equally efficient. Not just efficiency, there are people who want to do, even in 8 hours, they want to do a work of only 4 hours. For 4 hours they are doing here and there. Right? And the owner knows. Still he allows or not? He allows. Right? He knows. Overall, my factory is working very well. There are few people who are like that, but I allow them. So if he is like a owner of this, you say owner, oh Swami, you have used this word, everything ultimately belongs to Ishvara. He is the owner of this entire creation. And in such a big organization called creation, there are few people here who have done something wrong here and there. Why? The way that owner doesn't punish, right? On the factory. Here also this owner should not punish. But here you people feel that the people who have done wrong, they are facing all kinds of situations. And he is just witnessing all that. So how can we say he is a compassionate? And if there is some boss of the Parameshwara, that, well, that is not in his hand to make them happy, then we accept. But that is not so. Sarvatantra swatantra. He's swatantra, he's independent totally. Like that owner of the factory. He's the ultimate boss. Then why he does not make him happy? Even though the karmas are wrong, why should punish? He doesn't have compassion? And what kind of a thing? My God. What kind of a suffering? You cannot see the videos of any Palestine, Gaza or anything, or other than Ukraine. Things don't come out. And therefore, we are sorry. We put a zero to this religious life. Pujas, this, that, etc. Because we don't find such a conscious being who is all compassion, all power, all knowledge. So Buddhas rejected Ishvara as a cause of the creation. Anyway, our thing is simple. Devasesha svabhāva. This is it. Brahman appears like this. Just. Which Brahman? Which Brahman? Which is not known. Appears as creation. The moment you come to know all that is here is Brahman, with this knowledge you get rid of this ignorance. You don't talk about the cause and the effect and the purpose of creation and all. You give it up. Let's go to now bhāṣya. Bhāṣyakara says, Chaturtha pāda krama-prāptah vaktavya iti aha na antah praඥam ityadina sarva-śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta shunyatvat tasya śabda-anabhideyatvam iti vishesha pratishedhena evacha turiyam nirdidikshati. So this Chaturtha Pada, the fourth Pada of the Atma, Karma-prāptah, which has come sequentially now. We have covered 3 Padas up to the 6th mantra, and certain Karikas also based on that. And so, now Karma-prāptah vaktavya. So the Upanishad has to now define the 4th Pada, which has come sequentially. Iti aha. So Upanishad defines it, that 4th Pada in the 7th mantra. Nanta praඥam, na bhāṣya, etc. And Upanishad does not define that Chaturtha Pada, the Turīya of the Atma, the Turīya, that is Atma, positively. You will say na anta praඥam, na bhāṣya, na ubhayata praඥam, na praඥam, na. And therefore, one can define, one can talk about either vidhimukhena, positively, or one can talk about nishedhamukhena. One can talk about directly. Vidhimukhena means positively, directly, that this is like this. Turīya is like this. But it has not been said like that. So then it has been defined. The Turīya is defined as indirectly, called nishedhamukhena. So that's how they say, when the parents have 2 kids, and let's say, 2 boys, so let's just take that way. And then those parents, in presence of these 2 kids, talk to the guest who has come into their house, that our elder is very brilliant in studies. So they talk about that elder boy, right? The elder boy, they talk about vidhimukhena, positively. He is brilliant. There is no negation in that. But when they talk like this, they definitely have talked about the younger kid, nishedhamukhena. They have talked about the younger also indirectly, without mentioning what is not that brilliant. Not that brilliant. Nishedhamukhena. Indirectly. So this is how vidhimukha and nishedhamukhena. In case of Brahman, the direct definition is not possible. Brahman is this is not possible. No, Swamiji, it has been said. Satchidananda, you said, and Satyam Gnanam, it's all Nishedamukha. It's in Taittiriya. As if I get a chance, I will talk about it also. Anyway, and so Śaṅkarācārya ji himself will explain why there is a definition here of the Turīya, the Atma, in that seventh mantra is indirect. Why Nishedamukha? Why indirect? So that he gives a reason. What he says, sarva śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta shunyatvat. So, sarva śabda-pravṛtti. All the words in a language, have a access only to a recognized objects. The object which is recognized by the 5 factors. Bhāṣyakara says here nimitta. The object which is recognized by 5 factors, 5 conditions, for that object only the words of any language has an access. The verbal function, the function of the words will be possible for a recognized object which is recognized in terms of 5 factors. First, Rudhi, convention. You are in a New Jersey and you have come closer to the ashram, and then you say, you recognize the place. So you say, oh, wind gap has come. So this wind gap, the place is called wind gap, convention. No, Swamiji, there is a cause in there. That's okay, but it is generally a convention. So as you recognize the object, place here, you immediately, from your mouth, śabda-pravṛtti, function comes out. And the word comes out. What? Silosberg. You see me? Muktatma. So this is how. So śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta is there. First nimitta, first condition. What is that? Convention. It is a named. This kind of a form, muktatma. Name, given. So that's called rudi. Second, you recognize an object in terms of a jati, group, classification. You seeing me, you will definitely say Swami. Seeing me, you will say human being. Right? Seeing this thing, you will immediately say Klee. So you recognize this object in terms of a different species. So like that. Then the third, Guna. Again you can say. So you recognize object in terms of its guna, its attribute, in terms of color. So you say, well, green clay. So you have used word green because you recognize the object in terms of a guna, attribute. Then kriya. Well, a certain object is doing some function and you recognize its function. Like a person is driving. Immediately we will say, a driver. A person is cooking. So from that recognition of a kriya the person is doing, you will immediately say cook, etc. You are walking, well you will be say walker. Oh, so Swami is a walker, etc. Or a runner, etc. So this is how from kriya, nimitta, you recognize object, and with respect to that kriya you recognize object, and then accordingly you will utter a word. And then the fifth one is a sambandha, connection, relation, etc. So you will looking at the child, well, and some other person, you will say maybe a child is a son of this person, etc. Or a father of this son, this boy, either. So you use father, son, this, that, uncle, all these parents, etc. All this with because you recognize that object, the person, in terms of relation. So all that is called śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta. 5-fold conditions for the verbal function. śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta shunyatvat for Brahman, Turīya, 4th pāda. So shunyatva. So shunyam means, well, basically absent. There you cannot recognize Turīya, well, in this fivefold way, because it is not there at all. So Atma doesn't have any of this. Atma does not have a kriya. Atma does not have any connection. Connected to something? No. Atma does not have any guna. Atma does not have any jati. And Atma does not have any name given conventionally. Nothing like that. And therefore, basically, you don't objectify, don't recognize Atma in this fivefold nimittas. So, śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta shunyatvat. They are absent. All nimittas, all these fivefold nimittas are absent because Atma's nature is something distinct. And therefore, śabda-pravṛtti-nimitta shunyatvat tasya chaturtha pādasya turiyasya śabda anabhideyatvam. So, then this Turīya will not be anabhideyatvam. Abhideyam means, a description. Śabda anabhideyatvam. Well, Turīya cannot be described in terms of these words, through the words, not revealable by the words. Iti means iti hetoho, because of this reason, vishesha pratishedena eva. Acharya is explaining why all this na anta praඥam, na bahish praඥam, because Brahman cannot be said as this. Brahman is of a particular jati. If it is there, we will immediately say Brahman is a crocodile. No, it is not. So no jati. And therefore, vishesha pratishedena. Therefore, by way of negating all these visheshas, jati, guna, kriya, etc. And here, of course, in terms of our Mandukya, negating all this vishesha means negating all this, ahankara, all the first three pādas, right? Negating three pādas only. So what is that? Negating waker, negating dreamer, negating Vishva, Taijasa, Prājña. Vishwa can be described. Waker, of course, can be described. Waker is one, like that you can describe. Dreamer can be described, one who experiences dream, etc., etc. Deep sleeper can be described. But this Turīya is, well, and its description is only through vishesha pratisheda. Vishesha means this waker, etc. By negating three pādas of the Atma. So, bahish praඥatvam, anta praඥatvam, etc., ghana praඥatvam, all this status, they are all status, right? You are that, but that is not your reality. That's it. You say, I am Prājña, Swamiji, and you are saying the Atma is not Prājña, you are saying, I only am a Prājña, I am only a waker. And you say, no, I means the Atma is not a waker. You're correct. That is because the waker is Atma. Atma is not waker. Atma is Atma only. Atma is not a waker. It's just a status. When you say status, then it is always with respect to something. So, definitely, we always say the status of an in-law with respect to the people who are married. Naturally. Same here. They are all status. So waker is a status because he experiences the waking world. With respect to the waking world, Atma gains a status of a waker. And that status goes away. That's how it is called status, which goes away also. Anyway. So vishesha pratishedena turiyam nirdidikshati. Turiyam, this Turīya, the fourth pada is nirdidikshati. Nirdeshtum ichchati. Shruti. The Shruti, the Upanishad, wants to reveal, nirdidikshati, nirdeshtum, means to reveal, ichchati, wants to reveal. So, Shruti wants to reveal, vishesha pratishedena, by way of negating these three statuses. They are definitely me, I am all pervading, therefore all that is there is me alone, waker is me, dreamer is me, And that's my experience also. And deep sleeper is me. Definitely I go along with them. I only say I am a waker. I dreamt, I slept. Very much, I is very much present, but at the same time, I is by nature, I Brahman. And so definitely I am Satchidananda, and these are just statuses. But now he says, he's raising a question. If you negate even waker, that you are not waker, you are not a dreamer, you are not deep sleeper, then now nothing is remaining. Nothing remains. So therefore, shunyame tarhi tat. Then basically you become shunyam. That's how Buddha say. You say, I am not waker. Okay. Then you are a dreamer. No, I am not a dreamer. Then you are a deep sleeper. No, I am not a deep sleeper also. Then what? Then what? All the three states of experience in human life you are negating. Means I am zero then. I am not waker, I am not dreamer, I am not deep sleeper. Means I is zero. There is no fourth experience. So it is I is zero. Shunyameva tari tat. Then tat turiyam. Tat means that turiyam, tarhi. Well, if it will become shunyam. So this, it says here, we have to apply our mind. Now Shruti wants to reveal basically, because you are negating everything. Na bahish pragnam, na antah pragnam, na ubhayata pragnam, na pragnam, na pragnam. So it will become shunyam. That's how Turīya is shunyam for them. Atma is a shunyam. Yeah. Because the first pāda is negated, second pāda, and there not just Vishva, etc. Vishva and Virat are negated. We know very well. Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha are negated. Now, and this Prājña, Ishvara are negated. Nothing left. Nothing is left. First pada of Atma is what? Vishwa and Virat. Prājña and, the second pada is Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha. Third pada is Prājña and Ishvara. All that is negated. Now what is left then? Nothing is left actually. And therefore Shunyamevahi Tartha Bhāṣyakara says, Na. That na should be taken at the end of the sentence. Na shakyaha kalpayitum. So that na should be taken there. Let us read that, what Bhāṣyakara says. So, mithya vikalpasya. Na mithya vikalpasya. Na I have already told you to take it at the end. Mithya vikalpasya nirnimittatva anupapattehe nahi rajata sarpat purusha mrga trishnika adi vikalpaha shuktika rajju sthanu uksharadi vyatirekena avastvāspadaha shakyaha kalpayitum. Very beautiful. Says, see, the first lesson we have to learn is basically, Śaṅkarācārya ji, he doesn't elaborate, but we have to do a little homework here. Whatever is negated comes under what category? Whatever is negated here, Vaker is negated. Right? Na bahish pragnam. Mantra is going to say. Na antah pragnam. Dreamer is negated. Na ubhayata pragnam. Na pragnam, etc. Deep sleeper is negated. Na pragnana ghanam, etc. means that is a deep sleeper, is negated. All other things are also in between, which are there, also are negated. Okay. Now, what is negated belongs to which category? If you understand it properly, I would say your life has become really like a living in heaven. That's what it is. People don't understand that category. Really, it is not a category. What is negated does not belong to a really category. But let's, for the sake of saying, I am saying, what is negated here belongs to some category. Let's say that. Belongs to what category? That's a Vedantic inquiry. That's it. Turīya is revealed, right? By negation. Imagine. So, what is the degree of reality of that negated entity? So, that is only we have to understand. First category. Forget about that. What is first category? What is existent? Well, cannot be negated. Therefore, it does not belong to this category. Here we are negating. If what is existent, real, self-existent, cannot be negated. When you negate, it doesn't mean that it will be negated. You may say this is not there, this is not there, but it is there because it is all the time existent, self-existent. So what is existent cannot be negated. One. What is non-existent need not be negated. Non-existent. I have given you several times example of my horns. What is non-existent need not be negated. Over. These two only are there. Existent and non-existent. Only two things are there. Only two things are there. So people who remain with these two categories, they cannot enjoy the life. That's it. People who miss this third category and who remains in this pendulum of existent, non-existent, depending upon their experience, they cannot enjoy the life. Well, who understand this third category, well, only understand a third category. What is a third category? We have discussed several times, right? Discussion of Māyā also several times. And what the Māyā is this Jagat several times. Therefore, I am trying to create some sensation, but really speaking, it is not. Third category is something which is not self-existent, which is not non-existent. Really speaking, it is not. It's distinct from these two categories of self-existent and non-existent. That's it. And third category we have to arrive at through nishedha, which is not non-existent. Means you are experiencing, therefore you can't say it is non-existent. Therefore it is existent. You are experiencing and therefore it is existent. Self-existing. No, that is also. Therefore you have to negate. Since you experience and you conclude that it is real, we have to negate. That's it. That's the third category. Sat, asat, vilakshana. Mithya. That is the category we have to understand. What is negated is mithya. Because what is existent, real, cannot be negated. What is non-existent need not be negated. Therefore, what is negated must be of a different category, and that is sadasat vilakshanam, different, distinct from these two category, which is experience, which you experience, therefore you say it is, but when you analyze, you find it is not. Could you follow? Therefore, it is seemingly existent. Or you can say basically not independent of the reality. It is not independently existing apart from the reality. That's it. We'll discuss in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.